Hey my Legion, how y'all doing today? I just filmed my Wet Wednesdays video for this week, and I think I lost my mind in this one. It's pretty funny. Hope you'll watch it. And I wanted to review a show that I talked about. I mentioned it maybe briefly. I never really did a full review of it. And it was a show that, and then later on it spawned another show, and they're both wonderful and worth talking about. America's Test Kitchens. And then after that, I want to talk to you about my history of cooking shows from growing up all the way till now, because they've changed a lot. The one thing that stayed constant with America's Test Kitchens came out sometime in the 90s. I started watching on Saturday, and there's more to the Saturday cooking show thing that I want to get to in a little bit after I finish the review of these two shows. And basically, America's Test Kitchens has been on since the night, I think, usually around 3:30 Saturday afternoons, right? And then, you know, they have like these kids hosted by Christopher Kimball, and they have like these different food items. And what they do is they have a bunch of master chefs, and it's from a magazine called Cooks Illustrated, which I've never seen before. And it says America's Test Kitchen from Cooks Illustrated magazine, but I've never seen a magazine before. Anyways, what they do is they go over a product. They have like so many people, and they keep making different recipes and trying to cook until they find out the perfect way to prepare this dish item or menu item, right? And then they show you the best way they found and the best way to have the food. And you know, they go through that. They usually have two menu items through that. You know, they show the best way to make it, you know. And then throughout that, they have other things like they have equipment testing. They have like a gadget guru who really does showcase some really crazy things. They have a taste test, which I really like. And they have letters editor. They have things about chemistry. They have like sometimes different things like Man on the Street. Oh, a big spider over there. Man on the Street, stuff like that. Really interesting. And for a while they had like a cartoon, which like in like that squiggle vision like you see on Dr. Katz on Comedy Central. My dad hated that, but I thought it was funny. Wow. I'm sorry, I got distracted. But I love the show. America's Test Kitchen gets a 10 out of 10. And to my surprise, I think this happened, some of the dates, if I get the dates wrong, you know, forgive me. I like around 2006, 2007, PBS created a new channel called Create. And it was on channel 18. And what this had a bunch of other cooking shows I never heard of before. And they showed Lydia's Italy, but I've seen that before. But they had like Paul Prudhomme and stuff. They used to anyways. And they had another show called Cook's Country, and that's like a spinoff of America's Test Kitchens. And basically this is supposed to look like a down-home thing. And it's somewhat similar format, but different. You know, and they have like this, a theme song from some group called Hot Butter Drum, called I Think I'm Home. And they're trying to do like a down-home type feel to the show. And it's interesting. The thing I like the most about, well, they also have Christopher Kimball out there, and he does like a little narration. In this one, he's out in like a porch on a chair, and he talks about the history of certain products. And basically, it's the same format for the most part as America's Test Kitchens, but the thing I really like the most is the taste test, and this time it's done in front of a live audience. Audience of maybe like 20 people or something like that, like a lower. It's pretty cool. I really like that. And once again, it's a very entertaining show. These cooks go through tons of ideas to make these certain recipes, and they come up with their best version. And like I said, this gets a 10 out of 10 too. Both America's Test Kitchens and Cook's Country are the best cooking shows on TV, in my opinion. I really do think that, and no one ever talks about them. But I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to do a special video about it. That's my review of the show. Both shows get 10 out of 10. Now I want to add on some about my history of watching cooking shows, and I want to go back to the 3 o'clock block on PBS, because before that they had, when I got out of the Army, my dad was talking about this guy called the Frugal Gourmet. And we were watching his shows, and I tried his meatloaf version, and Also, that way he calls beginning is saying he was doing different shows with children, and also they had a special primetime thing where he did an episode with Elmo, an hour-long thing on primetime, and he was like the hottest thing going. He was like the most popular cooking show for a while. And then all of a sudden on the news, in 97, I didn't know the dates. I looked it up because I didn't want to screw up the facts. In 97, he got accused of inappropriate behavior with like a bunch of men and boys. And I mean, I don't want to make it, I'm not making light of this at all. And it was weird. As soon as that was right on the news, right? We just saw him Saturday. I remember I'll never forget this. My dad and I saw him Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock. And then I think Test Kids was right after. That's why I was talking about the 3 o'clock block. 3 o'clock. And then on the nightly news on CBS, they talked about allegations against Fruit Gourmet. And then after that, he was gone. That show was gone. That was the last episode we ever saw, and I never really heard from him again except on the news, and they said that he settled 7 lawsuits, and that was the last I ever heard of him. And then I was looking up on Wikipedia about the guy, his name is Jeff Smith, I think. I just looked on the Fruit Gourmet. Apparently he passed away in 2004. I didn't know anything about that, because that was the strangest thing, because they talked about Tiger Woods' fall from grace being the biggest in history. This is probably the biggest in history, because his show was on 3 o'clock, 6:30, between 6:30 and 7 o'clock, that news broke on CBS News. He was gone. That was it. I never heard from him again, except bad publicity on the news. And then after that was done, after he said they settled a lawsuit, that was it. I never heard from him again, never heard anyone mention him again. Me and my dad will never forget that. And I was talking about that. I looked him up. I didn't know he passed away. My dad and I used to really like the show, and my dad was saying, yeah, he was gone. Okay, that's the 3 o'clock block. And I want to talk my other history of watching cooking shows. Because basically when I was growing up, I didn't watch that many cooking shows. They might have had like little cooking segments on talk shows and stuff. I knew of Julia Child, but I never really watched that many cooking shows. They didn't have, a whole lot, or maybe they just didn't catch my eye. I don't remember. And then when I started watching Canadian TV, especially in middle school or high school, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, get home from, it was in high school, get home around, I don't know, around about 2:45, 3, I can't remember when we left. And I think it was at 3 o'clock they had Walk with Jan on. And that was Stephen Jan, and it was a great show from Canadian TV. And I was talking to Diane about that, and Diane said that a long time ago, when I first discovered her channel, we started talking, she was saying he was a popular Korean chef that had all these 5-star restaurants in Canada. And then after that, I think on PBS they had Justin Wilson. They usually have a music video thing called Much Music after that. But I think Justin Wilson was on after that, I think. Or he was on in the 90s, I can't remember. But that's what we watched. Oh, shit. That's what we watched. Oops, sorry, B. I gotta take that nest down before I get stung. Yeah, well, anyways, bastard. Yeah, now I lost my train of thought. Now, while I was in the Army, oh, time to go. Yeah, I had to change location. Sorry, everybody, but I'm not going to get stung by a bee. Anyways, that was on Justin Wilson before I get in the Army or after. I can't remember. And when I was in the Army, I didn't watch really any cooking shows except Germany. They had something called Cooking with Jan. And I thought it was the same thing, but it was a guy named Martin Jan. My friend said it's really funny, but it's not like the same Walk with Jan with Stephen Jan. Now, I watched the show a few times, but I didn't like it as much, so I didn't watch it that much. And then in Fort Bragg, there was a show called Graham Care. And I just remember seeing a commercial for it. I think I might have watched it once. And there was a guy, that looked just like him. I said, hey, I saw you on TV again. Aren't you Graham Care? And he looked at me and said, fuck you, Callan. Fuck you. And I started laughing. That was funny and shit, but he looked just like him. And he was always making fun of the guys, but he had looked so much like him. I think his name was Allman. PFC Allman. Yeah, that's how you pronounce his name. And after I got out of the Army, you know, like I said, we saw Fruit Gourmet and stuff, and then Discovery, because I didn't work for a couple of years, and I was on unemployment when I got out of the Army, and they used to have at 10 o'clock in the morning on Discovery Channel, they had like great chefs of LA, great chefs of San Francisco. They had those shows. There was other cooking shows. I remember when we got Food Network, the Two Fat Ladies were on there, which was a great show. Food Network's changed a lot. And then they took that show off because one lady unfortunately passed away. There was a show on Travel Channel called, you got to laugh, called Two Hairy Bikers, about these two biker dudes that went around and made like these gourmet meals. And that show only lasted a year and they took it off the air. I don't know why. It was a great show. Even my dad liked it. And my dad liked Two Fat Ladies too. And like I said, cooking shows aren't what they used to be. I still watch Lydia. Basically the ones I just watch now are Lydia and Cook's Country and Test Kitchen. Now it's all about like reality competition ones. I don't really watch those as much. But that's really my history of cooking shows. Like pretty much all I watch now on Food Network is Mystery Diners, where they release the drone. They have that. I watch Mystery Diners. That's about it, but that have nothing to do with cooking, you know. So, there you have it. That's my history of cooking shows and my review of America's Test Kitchens and Cook's Country. So I hope you liked this video. Until next time, bye, please. Take care, my legion.